Wherever you may be watching or listening, I thank you as always. Like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. This episode will be called episode 154, Eagles versus Raiders Week 15 recap. I'm diving into all the specifics after that great Eagles win. First shutout win in a long time for the Eagles, 31-0, complete destruction of the Raiders. Definitely diving into how Jalenhurts played, how the offense looked, the rushing attack looked, some personnel sets, and even how the defense has been pretty much carrying the team, and it seems like they're hitting another level, which I didn't even think was possible, but it seems like it is. So we want to get into all of that, but before we do, definitely, as you see here on the screen, want to give a shout out to several friends of the show. Shout out to StubHub and Viagogo, the #1 and #2 leading ticket resellers in the world for live events, shows, and concerts. So by all means, as you see here on the screen, don't be hesitant. Make something of your holiday season. Check out the events listed here. Definitely, if you got the time, family, friends, and loved ones, this is that season for it. Make good with it. StubHub and Viagogo, definitely the places to check out. Also, as well, for my avid gamers out there, if you're looking to get something to add to your PlayStation experience, something to add for the holidays, look no further than PlayStation Direct. As you'll see here on the screen for the Christmas promo that the PlayStation is providing, it's a great sale, a great chance to get a great discount on a lot of accessories, consoles, and bundle packages. The description, or pretty much the link for this PlayStation Direct link, will be in the description box of this video. As always, don't forget to check it out. Sony PlayStation, more than a game. All right, guys. So again, flyeaglesfly, we're getting into this recap. Amazing victory by the Eagles, beating the Raiders 31-0. Beating the Raiders is something we expected the Eagles to do. As I said previously in the previous video, the recap versus the Chargers, if they had not played better than what they played against the Chargers, then they were going to lose to the Raiders. Thank God that they came out with a renewed mindset and focus, and a definite plan of attack, and it looks like an identity, something that Jalenhurts has been talking about at length, for weeks, throughout the season. It looks like the Eagles are starting to finally find that identity late in the year, but nonetheless, perfect timing. Getting into the game, coming off a 3-game losing streak where you look like shit. Chargers game, you played a lot better, but again, losing overtime with the fateful interception by Jalenhurts, as we all know. Media in a tailspin, everybody's pretty much saying, hey, fucking bench Jalen, fire Patullo and Sirianni, restart the franchise, all this dumb shit, as if this team just didn't win the fucking Super Bowl in February or hasn't been competing for the Super Bowl for the past 5 years. I mean, it's weird. It's weird, but people say and do whatever the fuck they feel is necessary. I memean, we heard the pundits and protagonists and analysts on television. I'm pretty sure you guys heard them on the 4-letter networks and here on YouTube. They all had their recommendations. It's weird because, like I said, the reservations I had was I saw that the team hadn't really had an identity. Wasn't really sure what they were doing. And if Kevin Patullo kept going with the random play call generator mindset, the Eagles weren't really going to get to where they wanted to go, which was advance in the playoffs and back to the Super Bowl to repeat as champions. That being said, they came with a proper plan of attack and renewed focus. Jalenhurts, let's just get started right there. Because like I said, I started the last episode with Jalen. We're going to begin this episode. What a bounce back performance. First of all, again, didn't have to throw the ball that much because they were hella efficient running the football. 12 of 15, 175 yards, but 3 touchdowns. Very good throwing the ball. He ran the ball, 7 times for 39 yards, which was something that the Eagles desperately needed to get back to, was having him rush the football. It is without saying that if Jalenhurts is not running the ball, unequivocally, it hurts the offense. I mean, it shows. They start the game with a 16-play, 47-yard drive. And I mean, keep this in mind, guys. The thing that I've been arguing about for the Eagles for the past couple weeks, if you guys watch the videos, as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. But if you guys have been plugging in and watching the videos, I've been saying, one of the things that's been hurting Philadelphia, and it kind of hurt Philly last week too, they haven't really had a game where they've had field position, and they haven't really had a game where they were winning the battle on third down, or winning the conversion battle on third down. They executed on all levels in this game. Like I said, the first drive, 16 plays, 47 yards. You essentially take like 7 minutes off the clock. That's just in the first quarter, and you get down the field, you score, touchdown to Dallas Goedert. Gotta love that. The thing is, though, it was the play calling, the fluidity, the mix of Jalen getting in the run game. Everything just looked together. Then you follow that up with the defense playing. I mean, first of all, we all know the Raiders fucking suck offensively. I mean, outside of Brock Bowers, outside of Ashton Genty, They don't have anyone that scares you on the outside. Their offensive line is shit. They were going up against Kenny Pickett. You kind of knew what you were going up against in this game. But again, first quarter, they have a 14-play drive, but it only goes 26 yards. So it shows you where, again, I'm just showing a comparison of volume of plays to yardage. 16 plays for 47 for the Eagles, 14 for 26 for the Raiders. The Raiders can't generate that much offense. There's not much there. The defense just completely decimated this team. Now, again, there was a little weird action going on between Cooper DeJean and Tyler Lockett where it looked like Cooper DeJean unnecessarily threw Tyler Lockett down, but we clearly see as the day went on and the replay showed Tyler Lockett instigated some shit with Cooper DeJean, got his ass tossed. Cooper DeJean gets the penalty there. You kind of felt like, oh, man, it's kind of ominous. Maybe this gives the Raiders a little bit of inspiration and hope. Nope. Defense steps up. Ojomo gets a sack. Defense pretty much locks down. And then what was even more inexplicable was, at that point, as desperate as you've been, as bad as you've been, you're in a game where you're only down 7-0. You know, you get points if you're the Raiders. Try to get a field goal, make it a game. They go for it on 4th and 6. I guess you're playing the champs, so the mindset was be aggressive. Incomplete pass, you know, Jordan Phillips gets pressure on Lockett, ball goes nowhere. And that was pretty much what it was, wash, rinse, repeat for the Raiders all game. I mean, the Philadelphia Eagles defense, after the amazing performance they had against the Chargers, they came back with another stellar performance. I mean, completely fucking dismantled everything that the Raiders were trying to do. Now, kind of eerie, the Raiders had lost to both teams that made last year's Super Bowl. The Raiders played this year. Obviously, Chiefs are in their division. They just got done playing the Eagles. Eerily enough, they lost to the Eagles and the Raiders by the same score. I mean, the Eagles and the Chiefs by the same score, 31-0. So that just shows you clearly you are nowhere near the best. You are clearly miles and miles and fucking damn near a country or two away from being even a contending football team. You know, and these just ineffective drives, punting, not really getting the ball moving. I mean, and again, there was a little trepidation, a little worry in my heart because, you know, when the Eagles had to settle for that field goal and they went up 10-0 and they couldn't get that first down, you were a little worried there because you're like, oh shit, is this going to be one of them games where they're going to beat this team, but they're going to struggle to beat them? Got to give the Eagles credit, man. Looking here, like I said, the rushing attack. You get Jalenhurts with a completion percentage of 80%, which is phenomenal. But the reason why you have that 80% completion percentage is because the ball distribution, the way this team ran the ball was just amazing. First of all, and I want to make sure I'm getting this number correct, you had 47 rushes for a team, 47 rushes for 183 yards. And obviously you got the one touchdown for Saquonbarkley. He had a touchdown in the game, obviously. But what was the key indicators? Saquon, 22 attempts, 78 yards. Bigsby, 17 attempts, 57 yards. Jalenhurts again, 7 attempts, 39 rushing yards, averaging damn near 6 yards per rush. That's the key. You have to have that attack. You have to use Hurts. You have to use Barkley. You have to use Bigsby, excuse me. You have to use all three of these guys. If you're using all three of these guys in a rotation, it clearly puts pressure on the defense. They had to be prepared. You made the trade for Bigsby, and hell, outside of that brief disastrous stunt on special teams, this guy's been a very solid backup running back. I mean, we all know about the Giants game early in the year. You know, he played well in this game. This guy, when he gets touches, he's very consistent. He makes, he's consistent enough as a backup running back where he makes plays. I think you got to kind of run with that rotation. You got to see what you got there. I like the three-headed monster with Hurts, Barkley, and Bigsby. So definitely something that the Eagles have to look at going forward. But then again, like I said, that ball distribution and just it helped because when that is being keyed in on for a defense and they don't know where the ball is going, and then you combine that with the fact that Hurts is being aggressive and decisive, something I consistently pound the fucking table, that Jalen just needs to play like all the time. And I know it's impossible. Every game is not going to be the same. But when he's aggressive and decisive, this team wins. Because he makes the necessary throws, he's accurate, and he puts the ball in the right place where the team, whether it's Smitty, whether it's AJ Brown, whomever it is, Dallas Goedert, they catch the ball, they make the play. So, the third down percentage, again, that's something else I wanted to touch on too, give credit to this team. Keep in mind that the Eagles ranked going into this game for the season 28th in third down percentage, which is fucking terrible. I mean, they're 33% on well, excuse me. Yeah, 33% on third down percentage. This is via teamrankings.com, as you'll see here on the screen. 33% on third down percentages. Now, keep this in mind. I have here a circle for you. You'll see on the screen. The 40% on third down was last year. So 7-point drop off, clearly not the same team. Clearly, that's where one of the major issues has been, not winning third downs. I mean, when you go from 40 to 33, I mean, it's clear that you're not winning the third downs like you need to. Injuries along the offensive line, teams being better prepared for the tush push over time as time has went on, whatever it may be. It's not working for the Eagles on third down. This game, though, was finally a game where the third down percentage played to the Eagles' favor. They got the necessary down and distance. Now, when you figure that the average down and distance on third downs was between 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, that means you're effectively moving the ball and keeping the defense guessing. 10 of 13 on third down, 70, damn near 77%. It was 76.9, but you rounded off 77%. That is impressive. I know the Eagles cannot have 77% for every game. They're not going to be able to play the Raiders for the rest of the season to lock up the division, unfortunately. But that being said, this is a clear indicator that what they're doing now is working. Now, what makes me feel that confident? We're going to go to another site, and I want you to look here on the screen. This is from summersports.com, who did a great deep dive on personnel sets and grouping and personnel tendencies. And what you see here on the screen is the Eagles are ranked 11th in 12 personnel sets. Now, why is that a major thing? If you guys remember last week, something that I touched on, it was something that the Eagles were finding success with against the Chargers. And throughout the season, they've had success with this personnel grouping. Ironically, when they ran this against the Vikings, when they ran this against the Raiders, I just drew a blank there for a second, I'm sorry. When they ran this formation against the Vikings and the Raiders, ironically, it led to high outputage totals as far as points and yards in the game for the team. It's very clear. The play action and the big offensive line set gives Saquon the ability to pick a hole or pick a lane, get through that hole, get the necessary yards. And also, if you're talking about from a passing aspect, it allows Jalenhurts the necessary room, whether through bootleg, play action, however it works. It allows him the necessary timing and room to find his routes down the field, get the necessary space to make a better and more accurate throw. To compound my point, this is something that a lot of people, a lot of us have said all season, that Kevin Patullo needs to run more, and it's no reason that he's not. It's just inexplicable. These stats are just glaring to you as to how dumb Patullo was going into, at least this point, the past 2 games. They've run 828 plays out of the 12 personnel set. Again, 2 tight ends, 1 running back, 2 receivers. Now, when you think about this, when you say, okay, well, it makes sense that they're running that because that's a big formation. You're like, okay, why would they not run that more often? Well, I want to know the same answer, because looking at these numbers, that's 227 personnel plays that they ran in that formation. So out of 828 plays, they've ran 227 in that formation. Success rate is around 27.42%. So again, very good. Efficiency, which is EPA, the EPA per play, 29.73. Very good. The Eagles ranked 4th in EPA in this personnel set, in the 12 personnel set. So what it shows you, and in the pass rate, the pass rate in this formation is around 37%, almost 38% if you round it off. So what is this essentially saying to you, what these stats are saying? The Eagles need to run this formation more often. This is something that the Eagles get yards. They can gash the defense. It puts ajbrown and Devontae Smith and Goddard running across the middle of the field, putting their corners and the DBs in bad situations where these guys are going to be one-on-one or by themselves, wide open. Jalen can make clear and decisive throws. It keeps the chains moving. And then, at this point, especially seeing this, there's no way in hell they can not run this formation throughout the rest of the year. It's clear that it works. Now, I get it that Patullo had to have time to figure out what worked and what didn't work, but reading these stats, and again, when you read the stats and you see how successful the team is with this, again, EPA rank is 4th in the NFL. it's just inexplicable that they didn't run this sooner, but they figured it out. I think if they run this personnel grouping a lot more, obviously this will lead to more success. It's something that teams will definitely have to contend with. And again, because with the play action, if the play breaks down, if there's a lane, Jalen can still break it and run. So it still leaves a probability of Jalen running. It still leaves a probability of Saquon getting the ball. And it still leaves a probability of one of those pass catchers getting the ball. So, again, something that should have been done weeks ago, but I'm glad they figured it out. Glad, that it's working. Now, you get down to it. The magic number now is 1. Obviously, with the Cowboys, choking against the Vikings on Sunday Night Football and blowing that game, the Eagles winning, doing what they're supposed to. All they have to do is beat the Commanders Saturday at 5 p.m. Definitely make sure you're tuned in for that. They win that game Saturday and they win the NFC East, which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because if the Eagles win, if they are able to win that game, which I think they will, but you don't want to count your chickens for the edge. If they are able to win that game, that'll be the first time that they have been back-to-back champions in this division since 2004. Which, when you think about that, how insane that is, it just shows you how tough the NFC East usually is year by year. But again, looks like it could be a t-shirt and hat game for the Eagles. The Commanders definitely going to come in and do their best to make sure it's not. But Philly has to be ready. Philly has to be ready. Now, there's no Jayden Daniels, so there's nothing. You're not going to have to worry about him as far as that regards. You've had Marcus Mariota on the team before. You've played against him. You kind of know what you're getting there. The Eagles should really have a proper game plan. Vic Fangio should have a proper game plan to pretty much snuff this team out. I would be shocked if they have a 31-0 type of game like they had against the Raiders, but I do expect this team to win the game. So, be that as it may. And then you figure you got the Commanders twice, and then you got the Bills sandwiched in between there. So, this game, low-key, is kind of important Saturday. I mean, you win this game, you can do what I think is something that has needed been done for this team for almost a month now. You need to start sitting some guys and getting them healthy. You can start getting Saquon more rejuvenated, get his legs and body fresh, allow Jalen to get his legs and body fresh, AJ, Devontae. I mean, we all know when these guys have a little bit of rest and they're able to get ready right before a run, they are very, very efficient and effective. They're killers. So you got to really figure that out and really just put that in your mind and know, like, close this team out, get the t-shirt and hat, and then rest. I think that should be the recipe for the Eagles going into the rest of the season, especially going into this weekend. But definitely, again, want to give all credit, again, to the defense for how they played. They're starting to hit on another level. They know now what the task and the assignment is. Take away what teams like to do great at and what they're great at and force them into what we would do best. And they did it against the Raiders. I definitely think it's a high chance they could do it against the Commanders. We will see. But if this team can continue to play like that, how they've played these past several weeks, they are going to give teams hell in the NFC playoff tournament. So, interesting to see how things play out. But again, that's going to do it for this episode. Again, as always, flyeaglesfly. I love you guys. Thank you for plugging in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Take care, and enjoy the rest of your day.